Exactly, guys. Victory Valkyrie boost variable, the first Valkyrie introduced in the first season of Beyblade Burst, in other words, the legendary Bey of our vault. Unfortunately, I don't have its box here. This is a used Bey that I bought from a blader in Japan, so it already has some wear on the stickers as well as on the tip, which we'll be looking at during the parts analysis, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. This was the first one, as I said, introduced in Beyblade Burst, at least in the anime. But we know that before this one, there was another version of the Valkyrie, a bit simpler, which was released just to introduce the Beyblade Burst system, which would be this one right here, the Wing Valkyrie, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna make a dedicated video about this version along with the Spriggan released at the time, so I won't talk much about this version now because I want to focus only on this one that was introduced in the anime, which I think left a mark on a lot of people, myself included, this Vault Breaker. So let's analyze it piece by piece, shall we? Well, with ours taken apart, we can see how much simpler it is, right? We're used to this unboxing style from the Metal Fight Saga, but in Beyblade Burst, we only have 3 parts, right? The layer, the disc, and the driver. So let's start by analyzing the top part, which is our layer, shall we? Alright, zooming in here, we start with our first piece, which is the layer called Victory Valkyrie, and it's just an absolutely beautiful layer, man. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, this is a used Bey, so the stickers have a bit of wear, but, well, considering it's a Bey that's almost 10 years old, right? Let's put it that way, so it's actually pretty well preserved in some aspects. And it's really cool for us to take a closer look at the details they put into this layer, like, for example, the helmet of the Valkyrie, where we have the little eyes here, a bit of the upper part of the helmet, and also this plumage that would be from the wings of the helmet, or maybe from the horse. Although, as far as I remember, Valk's horse didn't have wings. So you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because I honestly don't remember. Anyway, we also have these yellow details in these 2 parts, which I'll explain what they are, but they really make it stand out beautifully. We also have the V from Valt here on the plastic pot, and here we also have the V from Valkyrie or Valtryek. In fact, the community argues about this a lot, right? Because in the Takara Tomy version, it's called Valkyrie, and in the Hasbro version, it's called Valtryek. It doesn't matter which name you want to use, whichever you prefer is fine. People keep arguing about this, but I think it's just a bunch of nonsense, okay? And also this red pot to highlight the little V of Valtryek even more. Really cool, by the way, are also these 3 stickers we have on the contact points in blue that form a lightning bolt, right? That's the electric power of Valtryek, and also to give the sense of speed it has, since it's an attack-type Bey. When we look at our layer from the side, we can see how amazing this extended upper attack is, right, guys? Where it starts right from this yellow part here, right? When we look at it from the side, starting right at the plastic part, it rises up until it reaches this final contact point, delivering an insane upper attack. It's really interesting to see that these 3 contact points are serrated. They actually really resemble the contact style of Lightning Dragon from Beyblade Metal Fusion, which is a faster contact, but really meant to shred the opponent. And with this more aggressive section in blue, it makes the opponent's Bey climb up a lot at the end of the wing. Really cool, honestly. And one thing that makes people really like this disc is the fact that its little teeth have gotten bigger, right? If we take the previous version of Vault Breaker, I'll make a video about it in the future. They really improved the teeth a lot, which helps protect our Vault Breaker from bursting. This is a characteristic of attack-type Beys precisely because they need to have sturdier teeth. These teeth protect the Bey from bursting, and having stronger, more pronounced teeth helps prevent bursts. After all, it's an attack-type Bey, and attack-type Beys are supposed to make others not burst easily themselves, right? So, this improvement they made to the layer of our Vault Breaker really helped a lot. Right after that, we have our boost disc here, which is already a bit oxidized. I could give it a cleaning, but anyway. This disc here is pretty basic, and its main purpose is to provide aerodynamics. When we look at it from the side, we can see this aerodynamic aspect more clearly, where its blades cut through the air, and this cutting action makes it spin faster, which is great since it's an attack-type Bey. It needs that speed, or rather that aerodynamic performance, to spin faster. It's a pretty basic disc for attack-type Beys, which is initially very good for our Vault Breaker. And finally, we have this driver here, which is known as Variable. Man, I think this is going to be the most worn-out variable driver you'll ever see in your life. Look at this, man. When you buy it new, it comes with several little rubber teeth, and these rubber teeth wear down over time. As this surface wears down, it unlocks, so to speak, new attack movement patterns, making it faster and more aggressive. The guy sold me this already in this completely worn-out mode. There aren't any rubber teeth left, which means this is the final mode the tip can reach, the final stage. I think it even went a bit beyond, because there are even some cuts in the rubber here from how much it was worn down, man. But incredibly, I've already done battle tests with it before this video. Of course, I played a lot with this Bey, and it still performs really well indeed. So the concept of this tip when you buy a new one is to wear it down over time to unlock new speed levels, which makes this Bey really remarkable, especially for its time, which I think is really cool. And they later brought this style of driver back in a future version that appeared in Beyblade Burst Sparking. You guys know because I've already done an unboxing here on the channel. Well, a very remarkable and legendary driver for our Vault Breaker. Well, now let's assemble our Bey. Man, assembling a Beyblade Burst is extremely simple. For me, it's one of the most efficient systems they managed to bring from the Burst system to the new X system. This thing about practical assembly. All right, let's grab the layer here. To assemble a Beyblade Burst, you start with the layer, and then we get our disc, okay? For that, we turn our layer upside down, place the disc here, and then finish by taking the driver and fitting it in like this. Once it's in, you press it down, give it a twist, and press it again. Did it sink in? Did you feel it go down? Then you turn it in the opposite direction. Whichever way it spins, in this case, it's a Bey that spins to the right. You turn it to the right, and it'll give you that satisfying click we all love from the teeth, which helps prevent bursting. And this here is the Victory Valkyrie Burst variable. The very first version introduced back in the first season of Beyblade Burst, making it a legendary Valtryek because it's the original. Man, this Bey is simply brilliant. I really love the color concept. It gives this Bey a sense of speed, of aggressiveness too, an energy that only it can represent, which I think is absolutely beautiful, right? When we look at it from the side, we see that it's not actually a very tall Bey, but it gives the impression of being tall because of the wing, right? This upper part that extends way up. It's crazy, really, which makes it seem like this Bey is tall, but it's actually not. But anyway, we can also notice even from the side that the disc part barely makes contact, okay? Depending on how you launch it and how the other Bey collides with it, it will, yes, make contact with the layer. After all, that also helps the Bey to burst, in this case, to burst Valtryek, but it's almost negligible. And of course, our variable driver is completely worn out, but it still does some serious damage, man. You have no idea. This driver is really good. It's a really cool combo for its time, and a lot of people like it. I myself really like this Valtryek, and I want to test it out here with you guys. Do some battle tests with several Beys I have here in the Burst system. So before anything else, I want to ask you all for something. Before we do the battle test, I want to ask you to leave a like and subscribe down below, man. This really helps the channel a lot, especially for it to grow. And become a member, because by becoming a member, besides getting a chance to enter several giveaways that I'll be doing here on the channel, you'll also be helping the channel keep going, since it really helps fund these videos. So do this for me, get involved, and let's test out this legendary Bey Victory Valkyrie, shall we? Well, to start our battle test with our Valtryek, I want to test it against a Bey. We'll do an analysis in the future, but for now, I want to put it up against Yggdrasil, which is a stamina type Bey. Shall we? Alright, I'll start by launching Yggdrasil first, since it's a stamina type. And now I'll launch Valtryek at a slight angle. Okay, I managed to actually get it to hit now. Whoa. What a beautiful burst finish from Valtryek, hitting Yggdrasil from underneath. Man, that was amazing. What incredible power Valtryek just showed, huh? Alright, now I'm gonna do a battle test between Valtryek and Fairy, so let's see how this battle goes. Alright, I'll launch Fairy first, just a bit tilted, and now Valtryek. Let's see who manages to hunt down the other first. Okay, Valtryek already went after Fairy, trying to hit him, but he's already losing stamina because his tip is completely worn out. Fairy is managing to have a bit more stamina thanks to his star-shaped driver, bringing him the victory. Fairy wins over Valtryek. Alright, let's do some battle tests between Curvelas, which is a defense-type Bey, and our Valtryek to see how this battle goes. Okay, I'll launch Curvelas here a bit straight, a solid launch, and now I'll launch Valtryek a bit tilted. Nice! I landed a hit there, managed to pull off a combo, hit our Curvelas, but Curvelas is holding up well against Valtryek, showing its solid barrier and defeating Valtryek in a really solid way. What a win, huh? Alright, another legendary battle I want to do here is Valtryek versus Ragnarok, a stamina-type Bey that's really cool. So let's go. Boss versus Valt. Let's do this. Alright, I'm going to launch our Ragnarok, or Valt here. And now to launch the... Whoa! I didn't even have time to finish talking, and he already knocked Roktavor or Ragnarok out of the ring. Well, let's do one more. That one wasn't even fun. Even though Valtryek won, I want to do just one more to make it a bit more interesting. So I'm going to launch Valtryek's usual opponent here, and now Valtryek. Okay, I managed to launch him at an angle to hit Roktavor head-on. He lost all his stamina in that last attack. I couldn't pull off the final attack, and ended up losing to Roktavor's stamina. But if that attack had landed, man, he definitely would have burst Roktaivor. But counting the initial win, it's a victory for Valtryek. Alright, let's do a different battle here where I'll use Dunsider, which is an attack-type Bey, against Valtryek, a cool battle between Daigo Kuragani and Valt Aoi. Let's go. Alright, I'm going to launch Dunsider at a slight angle and start with him because he has a bit more stamina than Valtryek. And now, launch Valtryek. Look, Valtryek managed to be a bit faster than Dunsider. It's chasing Dunsider, but Dunsider already has a bit more stamina thanks to its star-shaped tip, showing why it needs that stamina to finish. Whoa. Even so, he won, okay? He beat Valtryek, but Valtryek, while stopped, burst him. Crazy stuff. To wrap up this video, I have to do a legendary battle between these two. Thomas Spriggan versus Valtryek versus Victory Valkyrie. Let's go! Alright, I'll start by launching Spriggan first, our Spryzen, and now Valtryek or Valkyrie a bit tilted. Okay. I managed to land a few combos at the start, but he lost a lot of stamina with that random final dash he did. He's not going to be able to finish off Spriggan this time, man. If he had landed that big final dash, he definitely would have burst Spriggan too, but Spriggan just stayed quietly in place, waiting for Valtryek to lose stamina. Victory for Spriggan. And these were the battle tests of our legendary Victory Valkyrie, an incredible Bey. Even though it's extremely worn out, it's still a very effective attack weapon if you know how to launch it. I'm not the guy who knows how to launch attack Beys, as you've already seen here. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next videos, and let it rip.